All right. So as we know, there was a Facebook post in regards to Blair Point and the possible safety of our students.
Yes.
I know you can't give names. I'm not going to ask for names. But what can you tell me that is being done to prevent measures, to prevent something like this at Blair Point?
We did have a student misbehave. Mm-hmm. It has been thoroughly investigated.
Okay.
With a threat assessment, like an official threat assessment done, carried out by the administration and the SRO.
Okay.
There was no plan by the student. The student doesn't have a past history of any aggression or violence. So Blair Point is safe. The student continues to be monitored.
Mm-hmm.
The narrative that was put out on social media by, I guess, a parent is full of inconsistencies and misinformation.
Okay.
Just simply not true.
Okay.
And it scared a lot of people.
I must ask, are you from the Peru area?
I am not.
Okay. We're a very close-knit community.
There are a lot of close-knit communities across America.
Yes, I agree. Here, everybody knows each other for the most part. What you describe is inaccuracies. I've now heard from multiple different parents of kids in the 4th grade. My 3rd grader has been talked to about the finger guns and the threats of, I'll kill you. And, we're where I'm at is we just as a nation had another school shooting less than a month ago with a 14-year-old that showed all the signs, and it still happened. From what I'm hearing from students, from parents, there is a kid showing all the signs, and he is still allowed to walk the schools. What are we going to do? Because I know I'm not the only one that held their kids out from school today. I know there's quite a few. I feel like Peru community has tried to sweep this under the rug. I personally feel like your email was dismissive to the case, and you were just trying to cover your backside on what's being put out. Now, I'm not originally from Peru either. I transplanted here about 8 years ago. My ex-wife is from Peru. I came from Fort Wayne. I graduated Snyder High School 2008. Arguably, probably one of the bigger schools in all of Indiana. My mom works for Fort Wayne Community Schools. This is not how a large school corporation would have handled this. One bit. There was an intruder at Snyder High School the other week, and they let all the parents know almost immediately, like, hey, there's a situation, you need to know. And they sent it out. Now, Peru community can send out messages letting us know that, oh, we're getting ready to play Mechanical in our freshly renovated football stadium. But here we have something that, hey, from what I've heard, there was a list, and the parents on the list were notified, and the teachers that were on the list were notified, but it gets swept under the rug to the general public, to the fact that the boys, that there's a little girl in that boy's class that sits right next to him every day, and her parent was not notified. I feel like it's a shortcoming of the entire community school board. I really do. What are we going to do to, keep our kids safe? Because now, I've got a vast majority of the community telling me one thing, and I'm sorry, but I have you as one individual telling me another thing, and it looks like you're trying to cover your backside when you could have got out in front of this and said, hey, this is going on. We can't give specifics, but it is being thoroughly investigated, and we are not taking this lightly.
It has been thoroughly investigated. We would never take anything lightly, Mr. Hinkle.
Why weren't you forthcoming and transparent with it? Because now the situation you find yourself in, you're playing defense. Are you not? This post hit Facebook,
which was inaccurate and disinformation, misinformation, and dangerously careless. I could go get on social media right now and make up something too. There's something, emergencies happening in the community and scare a lot of people, and it wouldn't be right of me.
So all of these parents and students are lying then?
I haven't seen, I don't know all those parents. I know there was an incident with a student. We have discipline issues probably daily in all of our buildings, like any school district does.
I get that. One of my kids is very familiar with your discipline system.
Yeah. So we've investigated it thoroughly. There was a threat assessment done. It did not rise to the level of what people have put on social media. It's wrong. It's been handled. Blair Point is safe. And my message shared that Blair Point is safe and it has been handled. If it was something, Mr. Hinkle, that was a higher level on the threat assessment, yes, it probably would be handled differently.
Okay.
But it didn't rise to that level. So a lot of people were given misinformation on social media, and then everyone starts jumping to these conclusions like there's some active shooter running through our building. That was not the case whatsoever.
I don't think that's how the public is taking this case. I think the way the public is taking this case is this kid is showing signs. We as a community want to step in and prevent it from happening, because Peru is not going to be another statistic. It is not going to be on the 6 o'clock news of another tragedy.
Yeah, we absolutely don't want anything like that to happen.
So if my kid were to make finger guns at other students and said that he was going to kill them, and they found a list of students' names and teachers' names on it, what would happen to my kid?
With any situation, we investigate and look at the facts and go from there.
Okay. What disciplinary action would normally happen?
It would depend on the facts of the situation. We have to look at our school policies, our discipline procedures, but more than anything, we want to keep our kids safe, and it would depend on the facts of the situation.
I, as a parent, if that was brought to my attention that my kid was doing that, I'd remove my own kid. That is a matter of public safety. One day of ISS to conduct an investigation. I've got a kid at home that's done less than that and had 2 days out of school suspension.
Again, you're assuming that's the only discipline that's been given. You're making an assumption.
We as parents just want you guys to be transparent.
It is our job to protect kids and educate kids, and we have done that, Mr. Hinkle.
What is Blair Point's policy on, well, what is Blair Point's security policy on checking students if there's suspicion?
Anything up to, again, it would depend on the situation, but anything up to, searching kids as much as frequently as needed.
Okay. What is Blair Point's measures as far as an active shooter goes?
There's a lot of details or dynamics that could be around something like that. I mean, that's a broad question.
Okay. Blair Point does have an SRO on site at all times, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Officer Hoover.
Okay. He is Peru PD?
He is on our police department with the school.
Okay, so he's on the school police department.
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like the situation at hand that local authorities or state authorities needed to be contacted?
We have been in communication with local authorities.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. Do you see where your email to the community seems dismissive and honestly kind of cold?
It was just a memo, a press release to let people know that we have investigated it and the kids and staff at Blair Point are safe.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Okay.
Okay.